guys, so today I'm going to be doing a really exciting video because it has been so requested. So today, instead of doing a this is how I edit my pictures video, I thought I would do an overall how to get a good Instagram, because even though mine may not be the best out there, I get so many comments about it that I feel like I should just address it all in one video. So basically I'm going to be talking you through my 3 biggest tips for Instagram, which I think you will find helpful. Talking about my feeds, a couple of mine, and how I do them, because I get so much about that. How do you edit your pictures? What filter do you use? So I'm going to tell you that kind of thing. And then also general things to bear in mind when doing an Instagram theme. If you like the makeup I'm wearing in this video, I actually have done a tutorial on it, which I will link below. So yeah, you can go and check that out. So let's go on with the video. Okay, so my first tip out of my 3 biggest tips that I can give you for Instagram is probably the most important one, and that is you need to have good pictures to begin with to have a good feed. You can't rely on the filter and turning the saturation down to give you a good feed. That really makes the difference, I think, between good pictures and bad pictures, and I noticed that on my feed as well. When pictures don't look as good, it's normally because the actual picture itself that I took doesn't work as a composition. So thinking about that when you're taking the picture is really important, and it does take practice, but I think the more you look at things and the more your eye is tuned to your feed, the better it's going to be. So the deeper I get into my feed, if I've been doing it for a really long time, I find it much easier to take pictures that I know are going to fit. And if you know me personally, you'll know if we're walking around and I see something that will go with my feed, I'll be like, stop, I need to take a picture, and I'll take it from different angles, and I'll be like, aha, that's the angle that goes with my feed, because I've learned now, because I've been looking at that kind of thing for so long. Learning how to take good pictures is so important. Okay, so the second thing is obviously a filter. Now everyone always thinks you put a filter on and it's gonna match your feed, and that is not true. So what I tend to do when people ask me what filter do you use, I tend to be like, well, I use this filter, but I play around with everything a lot. And when I talk about my feeds in a minute, I'll explain that to you and I'll probably show you. But what I tend to do is when I'm starting up a feed, I'll put a filter that I like. So I'll take a picture, I'll put loads of filters on, I'll be like, right, this is the one I want. Pick that, that's the first thing, because to be honest, that is the most important. But the thing that backs it up is that I normally change the saturation, I'll change the contrast, the brightness, I'll add highlights, or I'll tone down highlights if I feel like that's important or that matches my feed. And that is different for every picture. So the filter might be the same, but the amount you put the filter on and all the other things changes picture to picture, and you have to use your eye to look at that. So you really have to look at all the pictures together and be like, that one looks darker than the rest, I'm going to change it a bit. And that takes fiddling, but when you get used to it, you can get pretty quick. Really good tip that I've found for making everything match as best as I can. Not everything always matches perfectly, but for matching it the best I can is I use VSCO or VSCO cam, but you can also use an album on your camera roll to basically put all your edited pictures together, and you can see whether they need further editing or not. The reason I do it in my app, not my camera roll, is because it's just easier to then be like, oh, quickly need to turn the saturation down a bit on that. So if you don't already do that with your pictures and you just post them randomly, I would highly recommend doing that. Okay, so now quickly talking about my themes. I have had quite a few, and if you've been following me for a long time, you will know this, but there were 3 that I got sort of most questions about, and that was probably my dark theme that I had for quite a long time. Actually, that's probably my longest running one, which actually had different colours within it. So I had a section where there were loads of green bits in it, which I love. I had that one, and the filter I used for that was HB1 on VSCO, but I played around with that so much that you could hardly tell it was HB1 anymore. I turned the saturation right down. With all of them, I played with the contrast. I didn't use any highlights on that one, but I really did used to meddle with it quite a lot. So I think that it would be difficult to get exactly the same, especially because, like I said before, taking the picture is so important, and you could take a picture of something and use everything that I used, but it just wouldn't look the same because of the picture you took. I used to take pictures of quite dark things because I found that worked better, or a white wall, and then it sort of turned grey when you put the filter on. The next one I had was on holiday. I barely did anything to these pictures. I took sort of tropical-ish pictures, and I think most of them had blue in them, especially towards the end. That's another thing I find. Colour theming things obviously means you can't take as many pictures because something might not go with your colour theme, and you might have to hunt around. If I'm at an event and I don't want to find a picture, I have to hunt everywhere to find the right colour for my theme, which is a nightmare, and sometimes I have to delete the picture, and that makes me really upset. but I found that the blue theme for this one worked really well, and I just used C1 on VSCO, so that was really simple. And the one I have at the moment, I had a couple of pictures where there was barely any filter. It was okay, but I didn't love it, so I stopped that, but I kept them up, and now there has to be pink in my pictures for it to match my theme, which is really annoying. And it made me realise how much pink stuff I have though, so that's fine. I have plenty to put on there. It is annoying when I'm out and about because I have to take pictures of pink things, but there is a really good thing that I use. I use HB1 still, but on quite low. I don't have too much filter. I turn my highlights on really high. Is it highlights or low lights? I don't know. One of them really high up, pink, on the like pinky purple one, and that puts, if you saw my sunset picture recently, that, I mean, it was still pink, but it made it a lot pinker. And the bath one, it's like a tinge. It's quite like a look that's been going around for a while now. I didn't intend it to be like that, but it matched my theme. So I was like, oh well, if you match my theme, you can go on my Instagram. So now on to some more general points, just like a few things to bear in mind if you're about to start a new theme. So the first thing is, there is no such thing as too many selfies. You can put as many as you want on there, feel no shame. That's the first thing. The second thing is, be like creative with your theme. Your theme doesn't have to be a color or a filter. It could be an angle or what you choose to take pictures of, whether that be selfies or not. The other thing that I definitely recommend that you do is take inspiration from other people. Go on lots of Instagram pages, see who other people are following, especially if people are following not very many people. I tend to think then that they've been very selective, so I tend to look at those people more. Like, I'm not following that many people, so if you want some inspiration, go to mine, because you know if I'm following them, they must have a good feed. I would say be as consistent as you can be. I know it might be tempting, but sometimes you have to make a compromise. If you can't post it to Instagram, post it to Twitter. That's what I do. If it doesn't fit my theme, I'll tweet it instead. But stick at it and have faith that it looks good, especially if you've done everything that I've recommended and you're looking at it and you think it does. Stick at it. Try not to change it too often. I know I change mine quite a lot, but I try and put as many pictures as I can in before I stop that theme and go on to another one, because I just think it looks nice with lots of blocks. And if you scroll down my feed, I just think it's pretty seeing all the different colours there. So, you know, be patient and good luck. So really quickly now, I have a couple of questions that I haven't already covered that you guys asked me on Twitter and Instagram. The first one being, what app is a must-have? And I would say Facetune, not even for your face, for whitening things. If I was taking a picture on this and it looked a bit grey like it does now, I would whiten it. There is a hair that's really annoying me, hold on. There we go. I would whiten it out, and that's what I do at the moment on my current theme. I whiten things with Facetune, so I would say yes, absolutely. What catches your eye when taking a photo? And I would say, as long as it's matching my theme in my head and something interesting, so not just one thing in the photo, maybe a couple of things, or something with a really nice background, that's what catches my eye. Like things that are a little bit like fun and different, but make a nice overall composition. And if something doesn't, I'll move things to make it look good, even in public. The next question is, how long does it take to edit one of your photos? And I would say, depending on how long I've been doing the theme, because obviously the more you do it, the quicker you get at it. Like 5 minutes maybe? Like, you're like a robot. So thanks very much for watching this video, guys. I hope you found it useful, because so many people asked me about my Instagram, and I really hope this inspires you. Leave your Instagram below so that everyone can check out each other's and go and like, and I'll try and like some of your pictures as well. And if you're not following me, remember to follow me, and I'll see you in my next video.